Hey friends, my name is Lindsay. Welcome to Love Them Well. I want to know, have you read this? The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. I picked up this book when I was in 6th grade and I loved it so much, and it's probably one of my most read books. Especially during those junior high years, I read it over and over because I loved the story so much. I loved Tom Sawyer and his adventures. Harry Potter was pretty new when I was 11 years old reading this book, and I feel like it was the Harry Potter before Harry Potter. It's Tom Sawyer, a boy just like Harry Potter who goes on these adventures, does these crazy things, and I just love it so much. So when I started teaching 7th grade, I thought this would be such a fun book to add to our reading library. So we are reading this as a class, and we are listening to the audio version on YouTube. It's free, I will link it below, and it's just this old guy reading a book. We call him Grandpa Tom, and he reads us the story of Tom Sawyer. I do like to do a read aloud with this book because it's some older English. It is something that was written in the 1800s, so sometimes the words are a little bit hard to pronounce, and I don't want the kids just rushing over things to get to the next paragraph or the next chapter. I want them to really read it. And it's also kind of like when you show your friends your favorite movie and you're just watching them the whole time. Do they think that's funny? Do they like it? Do they like it as much as I do? And so I'll be reading the book with the students and I'm kind of watching them too, like, did they think that was funny? And I love it when they chuckle at things like at the end of chapter 4 when the guy at church asks Tom Sawyer who were the first 2 disciples, because Tom Sawyer got himself into a little bit of a pickle collecting all of these tickets that said that he had memorized all these scripture verses. When it came time to actually recite these scriptures, he didn't know anything. And so at the end it says, now tell me the names of the first 2 disciples were, and he says David and Goliath, and the kids laughed. And it made me so happy that they laughed at that little joke. And then the end of that says, let us draw the curtain of charity over the rest of the scene, so that Tom doesn't have to have any more embarrassment after saying that those were the first 2 disciples. I love this story. I love the time period and the fact that kids could just go and be free and run outside. Now, they almost died half the time. There was a lot of trouble they got into. In fact, they actually are missing for so long that people think that they have died, and Tom and his friends actually wind up attending their own funeral. This is a story about another time that probably won't ever be again, the freedom that Tom Sawyer has. And so I do have a guide that I wrote for the book that has comprehension questions, digging deep questions, and things like that that can help students along. But honestly, I really think that this time we're just gonna read the book, and I'll ask them questions here or there to make sure that they understand what's going on. But as long as they are following along and seem to be understanding, I don't think we're gonna do a whole lot of assessment with this, except to, at the end, reflect on our own childhoods with writing a memoir, and so that's gonna be really fun. If you do read it with your own children or with your class, there are some words in here that we do not use anymore, and I had that discussion with my students. There are words that we do not deem appropriate to say, and it was a good conversation to have. So have you read this? I would love to know. Leave a comment below if you have. If you haven't, I highly recommend it, especially if you have summer break coming up and you need something delicious to read. It's so good. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I will see you next time. Bye.